Obviously, starting off, we didn't start well. Number one thing we always talk about: start fast, stay focused, and finish strong. We didn't start fast on either side of the ball this week. Tennessee scored TDs on their first 4 drives. Offensively, we couldn't get anything going in the first half, and we went in at halftime significantly down, 31-0. First quarter, they had 190 yards. We had 1 on offense, and you go over just total drives. Tennessee had 9 drives. Scoring drives, they had 5, 56%. Average starting field position, they started on their own 34. Average time of possession, they were at 3.50. Average yards gained per drive, they were at 50. Average number of plays per drive, they were sitting at 8. 70-plus yard drives, they had 2 of them. 10-plus play drives, they had 3. 5 minutes or more time of possession drives, there were 3 of them involved. 1 minute or under drive, they didn't have any. And then obviously the average third down conversions down in distance for them was 5.6 yards, which was really manageable. Points off turnovers, we had a turnover on downs when we went third on fourth down, so they got 7, and they had 0 3-and-outs. Conversely, from our stats, total drives, we had 8 to their 9. Scoring drives, obviously, we only had 2. Our average starting field position was on our 18. Average time of possession for us was 3.2 per drive. Average yards gained, 31. Average number of plays per drive was sitting at 6 compared to their 8. 70-plus yard play drives, we had 2, which was pretty impressive from that standpoint. 10-plus play drives, we had 1. 5 or more time of possession drives, we only kept the ball 1 time when we kept it time of possession. And then the average third down distance was 8.3 to their 5.6. Didn't have any points off turnovers, obviously, and then 3-and-outs were a key factor. I told you we had 3 of them. Key metrics that we look at that, and you start looking through explosive plays differential with runs of plus 12 and passes of plus 15. Explosive runs, 54 yards. We had 2. We had 2 explosive passes of 53 yards. So overall, they had 10. We had 4. So obviously there was a 6-play differential between us and Tennessee. Rushing yards, they did a really, really good job. They came out. They've been balanced offensively as far as running the ball and throwing the ball. I think the one thing that they've done, and we've got to do a much better job. The last 3 teams have come out and kind of been heavy run against us, and they've done a good job. So we've got to do a much better job of stopping the run. They came out and they had 51 rushes for 248 yards. Conversely, we had 30 rushes for 104 yards. Got to continue to get Jaden Baugh the ball. He's doing a good job when he's running, so we got to continue to keep pounding him. And then, obviously, from my standpoint, we're putting last week's game behind us. We've got a tough opponent that we're going to move on to this week. Get ready to start. We play a really talented Florida State team. They went through a 4-game stretch at the beginning of the season. If you take a look at that, they lost 4 games by a total of 1 score. So right now, if you take a look at that, they could be probably sitting here at 9-2. They're looking back on their season as well. Can easily be looking at a 9-2 team coming in here that they play. They do a good job. They convert on third and fourth downs at an extremely high rate, at a 53% rate. Offensively, they rank 4th in the nation in passing yards completion. Tommy Castellanos ranks 1st in the nation in passing yards completion-wise. They've got some big targets. Deuce Robinson, he stands out to me on the offensive side, ranks 6th in the nation in receiving yards per game, and 7th in yards per reception. So defensively, they're big up front. They've got great size up front on the defensive line. They do a good job. They've got a young freshman that's come out, and he's played really, really well for them. And Mandrell DeSur, he's 6'4", 262. He leads the team in tackles for loss and sacks. And then again, Darrell Jackson's big up front, big force in the middle, standing at 6'5", and he's 341 pounds, and he can take up some space in the middle. Earl Little is a player that's got a lot of playing experience in the back end, a senior. They kind of move him around, number 0. They move him around in the back. He'll play the middle of the field, but they play coverage kind of similar to what we call Tampa, but we kind of designate him as what we call a middle hole defender, and they let him run. Real active, leads the team in tackles, and he leads the team in interceptions. So got a tough test. We've got to get back out on the football field today and continue the process. And again, our goal is to try to end the season for the seniors, have an opportunity to play one more time in the swamp for them, and get a victory before we leave the season behind us.
Discussed the importance of the team kind of staying in the moment, present day, looking forward to this upcoming game. But I guess even candidly, like with where things are in the season, with the coaching search that's ongoing,
sure.
Do conversations come up with you, players looking for advice about the future, anything of?
No. Nobody's really asked about questions about what they're for the future, and we've kind of, from our standpoint as a coaching staff, continue to keep pushing. And again, for us, it's about being in the present right now, being today. Continue to keep working hard, continue to grind. Obviously, the season and success rate that we wanted, obviously, is nowhere near where we need to be. And for the University of Florida, which demands excellence, and it should demand excellence because it's a premier program. So our whole objective is to continue to keep grinding, continue to work, and get better each day.
Injury looked pretty bad on the field. Is there any status for update?
We'll get a little bit more. I know this morning Tony came by with the injury update, and there's some guys that were banged up a little bit. We'll get some more update here as soon as this meeting's over. I'll go down and get a chance to meet with him. But yeah, we have some guys that are a little banged up, but we got to just kind of see where our numbers are and kind of make some adjustments. But absolutely, there's some guys that were hurt.
You alluded to Jaden before. I mean, the chance to get him a 1,000-yard season. I know individual stats aren't always important, but just for that, or what that would speak to the offense and the offensive line to be able to have a 1,000-yard rush, would be the first time since 2015.
I think that's big. I think individual accolades are always nice to attain. But I think if you were to ask the team right now if we'd rather have a win or a 1,000-yard rusher, I think they'd probably say both. But I definitely would lean more on a W. But Jaden's a workhorse. He's an extremely gifted young man. Talk to him. His size, his strength, his athleticism, his speed. He's got great feet. I think you've seen him put his foot in the ground and being able to utilize a great tight spin move for extra yards. And then, again, he's not just a strong power running back. He's nimble, but he's got exceptional hands. And I've talked about that over and over, about the ability to set him on one-on-one against linebackers out of the backfield, which he had this past week. We brought him out of the backfield to the right-hand side, and we've been running a little bit of choice route with him where he has the ability to break in or break out, and did an excellent job. He kind of stuttered the linebacker and then continued on a wheel. So he's a special football player. Would it mean a lot? Absolutely. It would mean a lot to him, our team, but at the same time, our number one goal is to try to get a victory.
How did Caleb play?
I'm sorry?
How did Caleb Banks play?
Caleb played, I thought he played good. I thought he battled. The one thing that you can probably tell after the first series is he's winded. He's gassed. He was winded. He hadn't been out there for a long time. I think the world of him, again, for fighting to come back and help our team. So extremely impressed with him for going out there and doing everything that he can do. He'll be better this week, obviously. But, yeah, he was a little winded, and he'll be the first one to tell you that. But you can see the power and the strength. He's got strong, heavy arms, heavy-handed, and really anchored the inside on some of those plays for us. So it'll be good to get him back and playing again this weekend as well, too.
You don't see anyone getting him on his back foot often, right? He's usually moving forward.
He's usually moving, and he's got strong hands when he strikes. He's very violent. He can anchor his feet. He's strong. He holds ground. So that's what you're looking for. He's a premier inside three technique or a shade at this level and at the next level.
You guys need to do something a little bit different on defense. You're playing a lot of too high safety and light boxes, and they're running on you. I mean, you alluded to that earlier. Well, it seems like that's been the trend.
Tennessee does a good job. I think Tennessee does a good job of spreading the field. We mentioned that last week. They do a great job of spreading the field. They put receivers outside, 2 yards outside the bottom of the numbers. They try to get you into a one-on-one situation. So if you're going to play one high man-to-man coverage, you're going to take the shots. And they've been really, really successful throughout the season. I will say that we did a pretty good job of eliminating that. We gave up 2 pass plays that were of 20 yards or more, which is an explosive, which they've been really, really good at throughout the season. So what do is you try to take that away. You can try to play either 2 high shell behind it to give yourself a little luck, and then you put the pressure on the safeties to make tackles. And I think they've done a good job from that standpoint. The bottom line is we got to tackle better. I think talking to Ron, I think we had 17 missed tackles in the first half alone that we had an opportunity to make. And when that's what we've got to be better at that. I compare tackling to a receiver blocking on the perimeter. You're on the perimeter as a receiver. You have an opportunity to make a block to help your team be successful. And to me, that has nothing to do with athletic ability. It has everything to do with heart and how you go about the game. And same thing with tackling. Tackling, there's going to be some tackles that aren't pretty. They might be ugly, but it's you versus him. And it's me saying, listen, my will's a little stronger than your will, and I'm going to get you down. So we've got to be better at that on the back end.
That just kind of showed up this week.
No, you can go back to the last 3 games, and we haven't been good, in my opinion, of getting guys down. I think the teams, Kentucky came out and they obviously ran the ball against us. Ole Miss, who's usually probably, we say balanced, but they're going to probably I throw the ball a little bit more. Tennessee, I would say, is a little bit more throw heavy. And they came out and they ran, like I said, they ran the ball 51 times. So we've got to do a much better job of making the tackle. And at the same time, that's what I just said. That's an individual. It's one-on-one. You've got to be able to go make that tackle. So space creates opportunity, and they did a pretty good job of making that.
I mean, you're into the numbers. And I was just curious because that seemed like an inordinate amount. Do you have numbers for missed tackles at the end of that game? And
the defense does, yeah, obviously. But I just went off of some of the statistics that Coach that I talked with him about during the first half. Second half, we obviously did. It's a tale of 2 tapes. Second half, we played well. Obviously, they didn't try to. They weren't working. They were trying to work the clock probably a little bit more. But offensively, we did a good job moving the ball in the second half, and they stopped them in the second half defensively. So again, that goes back to being able to start fast and then obviously stay focused and finish strong. So we finished a little bit better than we started. We can't get behind. We've got to be able to play in front, and I think that's the big thing that if we can continue to rely on the running game to be able to set up some of the play action, I think that helps our football team out.
Go ahead. It's pretty amazing going into the season. You thought you had 3 starting corners, and if Cormani can't go, you'll be down to 1. You'll be down to Devin. What kind of opportunity does this open up for some of the younger guys?
The younger guys got to play. Hanks and Jay Flowers. It gives you opportunity to go out and make plays and be consistent against the top-ranked teams that you're getting an opportunity to play. They're going to, each team that you face, no matter who you're playing in at this level, you're going to play against some great skilled athletes on either side. So, yeah, injuries happen. It happened to us on the offensive side of the ball going into the season. We were down Khalil Jackson, and then you lose Dallas. You've lost Trey. Aiden was banged up. He missed some time. You had Vernell that missed some time. So it's part of the game. There's going to be injuries, and you go out, and that's why you recruit. You go out and recruit the best that you can possibly get, and then you continue to develop. And hopefully these young players that get the opportunity, this is their time to go play. And at this part of the season, you're 14 weeks into the season. They've got to have matured by this point. So you put them in a position to go make those plays.
Following up on that, yes, injuries are part of the game, but this is an inordinate amount of injuries for this football. It doesn't even compare to other teams in the SEC. The injury report, is there something to? I know it's not really fair to ask you, but
no. I'll go back to looking at just the receivers because that's kind of whose my specialty is. All right, so you got Vernell Brown who went up for a catch and came down on his shoulder. That has nothing to do with anything. You got Dallas had a foot injury, right, and that's just wear and tear. Sometimes that happens. You can't control that. Aiden had a sprained ankle. Can't control that. It's whether you get rolled up. Eugene had same thing. Had an ankle injury / knee. So these are things that you can't control, and it's just part of the game, and it happens. Unfortunately, you keep pushing, and again, you got to prepare the next guy behind him to continue to get better. And again, that's where you keep recruiting these players and you keep developing. I think the development piece is the most important piece. But are there high numbers? They are, but it is something that you can't control. And you just continue to keep moving forward from that standpoint.
So you don't think it has anything to do with the training's methods or methodology?
Landing on your shoulder no. And again, when you get your ankle rolled up, no, I don't think that has anything to do with any bit of training at all.
People try to like extrapolate that, as you're aware, or maybe not.
I'm sorry?
I said people try to like
To
correlate
pinpoint
that.
different things. I understand
Like,
that
oh,
part.
strength
Yeah.
programs.
No, there's a lot of, you can kind of probably compare a lot of different things, but no, there's, like I said, I'm going to talk specifically about my position. And even Cormani, it's coming up to make a tackle. There's different times where people are going to get hurt or injured, and it's unfortunate. And it seems like when something starts to roll downhill a little bit, it starts to continue to pick up steam, and there's some others that get injury. So whenever you have somebody missing reps, that means there's more load on somebody else. So
How are you processing just this struggle? I mean, you've been on some excellent championship teams. You've been around a lot of very good teams. And you've been put in a tough situation.
Tough situations they're across the board, and hopefully I've been through this profession long enough and made myself through who I've coached with, where you push through tough situations. I think that's part of it. I accept 100% of it, and I'm thankful for the opportunity that I've been put into this position to continue to keep pushing. But you can look around. I was talking with Scott a little earlier, coming up here just about the teams in the Power Four who had made coaching changes throughout that. Everybody's in a tough situation. You just keep pushing. And there's no fight in me. There's no fight in our players. We're going to continue to keep grinding. And I think that's the only thing you do. You keep putting one foot in front of the other. You stay grounded on where you're at and try to better yourself and try to better the players. And that, for me, more than anything, it's, again, I always go back to, I got into this profession to try to help our players, and that's going to continue to keep pushing me and continue to keep grinding. Obviously, the success, it's not where we want it to be, like I said, or for the University of Florida. So, but yeah, that doesn't change. We're going to keep pushing.
Another dual threat guy. I mean, anything you take from Chambliss a couple of weeks ago, you guys did a pretty good job on him.
He's a quarterback that's led a program at 2 different schools, and he's had a high success rate with what he's done. He's again extremely successful. Ranks first in the nation passing yards per completion, 15th in yards per pass attempt, and 28th in total offense. So another dual threat type kid that can make plays. A young man, I shouldn't say kid, but young man that can make plays with his feet and his arm.